Okay, so as I was saying, sometimes I get really frustrated with myself because I don't work like normal people do. You know, like I'm not good at sticking with a schedule. I'm not very organized. I don't understand how people can find time to do everything that they need to do every day. Like, especially people with kids. Kudos to you. I could never. I don't know how people find time for work, cleaning the house, exercising, going to the gym, uh, all the things we're supposed to do every day. I don't know, and like, it's always very frustrating to me. And it's like, okay, I need to find time to work, and I need to find time to YouTube, and I need to find time to this. And then I get, like, maybe I should meal prep, and then I get mad at myself for not meal prepping. And it's just like sometimes it's just not something that's gonna happen. I'm not gonna always. I don't like to cook. I really don't, especially for myself. Cooking for other people, absolutely love cooking, but when I cook for myself, I'm not a fan. Um, you know. So yeah, I do when I'm eating by myself more. I do grab quick and easy things, and you know what? If that bothers you, that's your own problem. As long as it's within my calories for the day. If you haven't gone and checked out the Plant Slant, go check them out. I don't really follow a lot of advice from people online, but his is one I do kind of pay attention to. Because I think he has a lot of really good things to say. And he makes a lot of sense. So, it's just like, you got to do what's best for you. Like, I don't know. It doesn't annoy me in, oh, okay, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it doesn't annoy me, for me personally, when people play armchair doctor and they don't really know anything about you and they're just like spitting out things. I understand that they have the best intentions and they mean well. Well, not all of them, but some. It's a public forum. We can say whatever we want. I feel like that's a really dangerous way to be. You know, like when people are like, "Oh, you should eat this diet. Oh, you should eat that diet." Da, 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 da. You don't know. You don't know. Or like somebody's commented like about bipolar. Thing is, I've been going to the doctor. I am diagnosed, not self-diagnosed, with borderline personality disorder and ADHD. The autism one was something I was, like my doctors do believe. But at this point in time, in this moment in history, I have decided to change my mind about getting an official diagnosis. If you know, you know. And I'm not looking to get into any debates about it. And that right there also is something that's really been on me. Like, things are really scary right now for people with mental health issues. Okay? That's why I, like with the medicine, when I tried this one for ADHD, I did want something that was non-narcotic or whatever, non-SSRI, is it? The ones that they're trying to ban. And send people to detox camps or whatever it is about. I was like, I don't want any of those because I don't want I don't want to be labeled, and I know those medicines are good and they help people. Unfortunately, with me, a lot of the medicines, psych meds, do the opposite because my thing is not a chemical imbalance. My thing is kind of a brain injury. In a way, it's something that happened to me as a child was so traumatic. My brain broke in order to protect myself. So, my childhood was so traumatic. I had to do something. So that's what borderline is. It's not chemical imbalance. I do have PTSD. I do have a lot of love letters. I don't try to like sit there and dwell on it because I'm working on those things, you know, privately. Somewhat not privately, but I'm working on those things. You know, like my agoraphobia, I'm working on it. Like I do get out. I get out, I do what I need to do. If a friend needs something, it usually inspires me to get out of the house more than if I need something. Um, a friend or a loved one, you know, like going to Clovis and visiting my mom and going, there's like a certain gas station I always stop at and then this and that and blah. Um, I have my little routines that help me survive and get through. And, you know, like I don't mind going to our local grocery store when it's not busy. I can handle it. Um, don't expect to see me in a Walmart anytime soon. That's why grocery pickup is one of my favorite things in the world. And plus, I don't get distracted by shiny things and buy too much. Um, you know, and I was mentioning like about how I was acting impulsive and this and that, you know, and not feeling real. Like that's the reason I self-isolate. And I know that I need to take time. I can see myself like, oh wow, you're really losing the plot, Lori. You need to get back on track. So I self-isolate until I can figure out, and I go through everything in my brain, and my brain is always going. There's like 1,000 things in there. And that's another reason I wanted to try this med. Because I was hoping to cut down the food noise. Because I've heard certain meds can help you not think about food as much. And I also wanted to stop the noise, because like there's usually about 20 thoughts in my head at one time. It's always been like that. I honestly, I can't imagine. For a while when I first started taking the med, it really reduced the number of things going on up there, but then it just became nothing. Like no emotions, nothing. And then it kind of became paranoia. Like everybody hates you, this and that. And I'm like, okay, and we talked to my doctor about it. It's not conducive. I think that's the word I want to use. It's not good for me. This pill is not going to help me because pills aren't a one-size-fit-all. People's body chemistries react with different medicines in different ways. And what works for one person doesn't work for another. And honestly, this has made me not want to try another kind of ADHD med. I'm just going to continue to go at it the way I do and try to be more gentle on myself, about my disorganization. I'm getting better every day before I started taking the meds at being a little more organized. I don't think I'll ever be an organized person. Unfortunately. So, that is what it is. But the thing is, I know that I have too much at stake to spiral. I know that I have too many living beings relying on me being here to do anything too impulsive. You know, I might spend a little too much on Amazon or eat a couple cheeseburgers too many, but I'm not going to like do anything crazy because I can't go to jail. I can't go to prison. And I need to be alive for at least another like 15 years for Penny. So, you know, I have my mom. I have the dogs. If anything happens to me, I don't know if there's going to be anybody to take care of the dogs. I did have somebody as a backup, but they passed away. So, and I really don't know who. That was recent, by the way, which may have been another reason for my descent into madness. Now remember, the name of this channel is Hatter House, okay? Yes, my husband's name is Hatter. Well, nickname is Hatter. But remember, we're all mad here. I am not offended by the word crazy. And in the words of Danny Boone, They call me crazy. Some may say batshit. You know. And if you haven't listened to the new Rehab album, I highly suggest it. It's called Ego Knievel. There's actually a song that we have a shout out on. It's called Good Weed. And there is a shout out to us. So, I love it. And we're going to go see them in June, I believe. There's two options. The one where we went last time in Colorado, and then there's one in Oklahoma, and I'm like, I don't know, which one do you want to go to? I think we're going to go with the Colorado. So if anybody wants to go to a Rehab concert in Colorado and meet, be like, hey, what's up? Let me know. So yeah, I mean, like, I know I'm crazy. I'm not offended by the word crazy just as much as I'm not offended by the word fat. So, you know, like, I don't find them to be offensive words. I mean, fat is a very accurate description of myself. It's not a dirty word. It doesn't mean that you're less than. It doesn't mean that you're ugly. It doesn't mean, you know, anything other than you're fat. Just as crazy. Yeah, I am crazy. I have literally been institutionalized in my lifetime. That was like 20 years ago. Maybe even more at this point. Time kind of has this wibbly wobbly thing. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. If you know, you know. And I know a few of you definitely know. I watch your videos and you have like Doctor Who stuff in the background, and I'm like, yeah, these are my people. I am slacking. I believe there's a new season out because my YouTube notifications are going crazy for Doctor Who, and I have not watched any yet. So I'm like, okay. Nonetheless, you know I'm crazy, and I know time has this weird thing, and it is something that's actually very common with borderline and autism and ADHD sometimes. So, you know, but the thing is, I don't lose track of the important things. Like, I may like disappear off the internet for a week, but every bill that needed to be paid is going to be paid because I can't afford to have my water or my phone or anything else shut off. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just responsible enough to role play an adult. So, to pass as a functioning adult. So, and that's really, considering how I've been in the past, that's saying something. Like, people that I've known in the past and family, certain family members, have never imagined that I'd be here. Have never imagined. Some thought I was going to die at 25. Because, you know, as a untreated borderline in my younger years, of course I was prone to way worse. You know, if you know anything about borderline, you know how bad it can get. You know, and I've done a lot of those self-destructive behaviors, which is, I mean, you don't become 600 pounds just because. I mean, maybe somebody has, but I'm guessing most people who are my size, or what the size I used to be, it's probably because of trauma, mental illness, unhealed wounds, stuff like that. You know, you don't get to be that size because of no reason whatsoever. So, and that's where I am in my journey. Like, I'm not like so worried about the diet and this and that. I'm more worried about the healing in here. You know, and not trying to be afraid of any kind of foods. I'm not trying to be like restricting myself. I'm just trying to be better about things. I'm not going to be like, oh man, I got to stay away from carbs, because that actually caused a problem for me for years. After my surgery, I was afraid to eat carbs. So I felt dirty and evil and wrong when I ate carbs. You know, now I'm like, potatoes, because potatoes are amazing. They are wonderful. They, you can do so many things, and they're reasonable, and they're easy, and potatoes. That's all I got to say about that. Of course, I am part Irish, so maybe that's part of it. And Cheesecake Factory bread. I'm not a big bread person, but that Cheesecake Factory bread, oh man, it's been a while, but I could go for some Korean fried cauliflower. It's been about, okay, Mariah, when was the last time you were here? 3 years? It's been about 3 years. She brought me some up. She visited me for my birthday, and she brought me some from Albuquerque. But yeah, it's one of my very favorite foods. Tried to recreate it. It did not go well. Not at all. I just suck at cooking sometimes, especially certain things. Yeah, did not go well. Kind of disgusting. And the frozen kind, just not as good. I don't know. Some things just aren't as good when they come out of the freezer bag. But yeah, maybe I need to put MSG in it. I don't know. No, I tried to air fry them, and it just was not good. It was a disaster. So, like, and you know, because I was talking about how I don't like to cook for myself, I really like eat a lot of mono meals when I do cook for myself. Recently, as in today, I went to the grocery store and I stocked up, and I bought about, no, this is going to sound, I bought about $30 worth of corned beef briskets. And I may have mentioned this in the other video. I don't remember. Because they were $1.99 a pound. And I'm like, you cannot beat that. I really, literally will have just corned beef brisket. Or then maybe I'll throw some vegetables with it. But I just like very simplistic meals. That's why people are like, you should do cooking videos. And I'm like, I don't really cook. Especially when it's just me eating. Like, I'll just get a steak, I'll fry it up, and I'll eat it. Or I'll microwave a bag of frozen veggies. Or, you know, like another thing recently at the grocery store, 3 for $99, little yogurts. I've been munching on a lot of yogurts lately. For breakfast, I have my fruit thawing out from that big bag of fruit that I bought. This is my favorite mix. I don't even care about the strawberries, but the blueberries and the cherries. Sometimes I'll just eat them without yogurt. You know, or like the McDonald's cheeseburgers, and I don't eat the buns. Lately, I've been liking to get green chili on them, though. But usually I'll just get them like plain or only pickles or whatever, and then I'll take the buns off, and I'll just eat the meat and the cheese. I don't know. Or, you know, one of those, if you know, if you're one of these people who just grab a piece of cheese out of the fridge and call it a meal. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I know I'm not the only one because I've seen videos about it. Sorry if that sounded weird with the microphone. Don't worry, it's caffeine free. Because it's about 11 o'clock at night while I'm recording this. I'm going to put it out Friday. I did record another video. I have so many videos I need to edit and put out to you guys too. I'm going to try not to bombard you guys with a lot of videos. I'm going to try to get caught up with all my comments. And I'm going to try my best to watch everybody's videos. It's so hard sometimes to get everything. So And I know I need to do some members only stuff too. I want to eat another one of these. These are so good. It's a spoiler alert. Wow. For the video I did just before this. But yeah. So I know I need to do some members only stuff. Oh, and today. See, here's the thing. I know people have told me before, join a church for a support system, for a community. But the thing is, I feel bad using a religion I don't believe in or I don't support in order for me to find a sense of community or to use them for their resources, so to speak. Like the churches here, they don't really have like programs or food pantries or anything like that. Some of them do have events, like for kids. I don't have kids, so there's not a church here. I don't. There is a church with AA that once a week, but there's no churches here with like recovery programs and stuff like that. And the thing is, I don't know. I don't believe in that, and I would feel bad using and going through the motions for a sense of community. I would feel like I was putting on fronts. I don't like to be inauthentic. I don't like to be fake. And that's what I feel like I would be. I'd rather just find my own little group of misfits, Or maybe if I could, there isn't a Universalist Unitarian church here. There's not one in the next town. I think the closest one is about 2 hours away, and I'm not driving that far because that would kind of defeat the purpose of trying to find people locally. So, like I did love the one that I went to in Milwaukee when I lived up there. That was a very nice one. It looks like an old Catholic church. It was kind of cool because the first service I went to, this is what really sold me. They were reading out of Terry Pratchett books. Well, they read out of one particular Terry Pratchett book, and he's one of my favorite authors. Used to Neil Gaiman as well, but that's a kind of now. It was very sad because I absolutely love David Tennant, and I love The Sandman, and I love the show Good Omens, and so it's a little weird now, but that's okay. I'm gonna watch it till the end because the actors don't deserve to be punished for somebody else's actions. But yeah, Neil Gaiman was one of my favorite authors. Right now, I think my favorite author is probably K.L. Slater. I have, every time one of her books pop up on Libby, I'm like, yes, and I bury myself in it. I love a good book where I just like get lost in it for days. Nah, let's be real here. A day. Honestly, like if there's a good enough book, I will sit there and binge it. I don't watch a lot of TV. I mostly listen to audiobooks. So, watch YouTube videos. And I've been playing a lot of my game. I've been addicted to this game, Heyday. I play it on my app, Misplay. And I have a link to Misplay down below. You can earn money and gift cards for playing games. This is my gaming phone. This is also one of my recording phones. But yeah. Heyday. I don't know how to link. If anybody else plays Heyday, let me know. We'll figure out how to get connected and be friends on there. I just started playing maybe like 2 weeks ago. But hey, I've earned $20 in gift cards playing. But yeah, it's Misplay. I have a link for Misplay below if you want to join. Or you can join on your own. It doesn't matter. You don't have to use my referral link, but we both get stuff if you sign up under my referral link. But I'm okay. Here's the thing. like, I'm always okay. Like, my life has been insane. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm not trying to be like the center of the universe. I'm the center of my universe. But I know everybody has challenges, everybody has problems, everybody's going through things. You know, I've definitely had my fair share of bullshit I've gone through in life. And I've made it through everything so far. So, you know, I don't know if I'm a stronger person for it, but I'm here. So, yeah. But unfortunately, I just, like I said, I was trying to fly too close to the sun taking this pill. I thought it would help, and it did not. It made things worse. And honestly, it's one of those pills. It doesn't take long to get out of your system, but I can still kind of feel some effects from it. But I am starting to feel more like myself again. And that's good, because it's been about a week since I stopped taking it. Like I said before, I'm going to repeat this just in case. I did consult with my doctor before I stopped taking it. I made sure that I did everything the right way. So, you know, and I don't have bipolar. I have borderline personality. It does kind of mimic, mirror, have some of the same symptoms. But one of the differences is bipolar is sometimes you don't really know why your brain goes wibbly wobbly. Borderline is usually induced by outside factors, because we have an intense sense of abandonment, fear of abandonment. We have where we're afraid to let people close, but then when we let people close, they really affect our moods, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault we're crazy. I'm sorry. If that offends anyone, me calling myself crazy. I'm not talking about you. If you don't like that word, that's fine. I won't ever call you crazy. You know, we always feel like everybody's out to get us. It's not a fun way, but I have to tell myself, this isn't true. This isn't true. I constantly have to tell myself in my brain, and I've learned to become more self-reflective on things like, whoa, like I take time to think about my reactions sometimes now and the way I deal with situations. And yes, sometimes that means I self-isolate and I shut myself out from the world while I take time to figure out if these emotions are valid. If what would be a normal response to these emotions? Or not, if not so much a normal response, what would be an adequate response? Am I asking too much? Are my boundaries being respected? Are other people's boundaries being respected? Sort of thing. And sometimes that may take a day or two, or even a week. I don't know. I don't know until it happens. I'm definitely not going to go off the deep end, because like this summer, or this last summer, I did have a moment where I felt like I was going to go to the deep end, and I went to the emergency room. I consulted with my therapist. She went above and beyond with the after hours talk and the making sure I was okay, and the texting and the calling, and talking me through my mental breakdown. I went to the emergency room, which here they're no help, believe me. It's an absolute joke, but it got me calmed down enough where I was okay. And then I talked to my therapist, and I got back, and I wasn't okay, but I was better, and I wasn't feeling like I was losing my shit anymore. So last summer was a lot of that. It was a very hard time, and like I said, now that it's just Josh and I again, we're getting back to normal. And I think I don't remember if I finished my sentence. I distract myself too much. But yeah, I got on Facebook and I reached out and I asked for help. And we finally got the bus home. So we got the bus back in the yard. And things are slowly falling back to where they're supposed to be. So, that's definitely something that helps my mind feel a lot better. It's just hard sometimes, like I said, because I'm the one. I'm the one people turn to in my circle. And I know maybe I do have people I can turn to, but I don't always utilize that. I know I have lots of people online, but I need people in person. But the thing is, I keep people at such arm's length because I'm afraid of them hurting me or leaving me. So a lot of that is my own fault. But unfortunately, a lot of the people I've let into my life have ended up hurting me. So I'm like, well, it's got to be my judgment. So if I like this person, maybe I need to stay away from them. um, you know, or maybe, and sometimes I like demonize people. And a friend and I were talking about that the other day. Like, one little thing, and it's like, and I'm learning to get over that too, because living here, I can't necessarily, like, I have to overlook some stuff living here. So, and honestly, it's worked out because I have changed people's perspectives. Like, people who I've had in my life have changed the way they treat their animals, have changed the way they look at their animals, have ended up getting involved in rescue, have ended up adopting dogs when they were cat people, stopped breeding their animals, got their animals fixed and got their shots and got them taken care of. So, I mean, me getting over my stigmas or prejudices and just being a good person has shown them that, hey, maybe the way I was doing things was wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be breeding my dog and overpopulating the shelters, and hey, maybe I can get involved in rescue and make a difference, kind of thing. So there's that, you know. But yeah, and then the last couple days have been kind of hard because like holidays are always hard for me with not having family, and then now that my mom is in a home and I don't get to see her that often because it's not in town, it's quite a drive. And I don't. Josh doesn't. I mean, he has family, but they're all over the place in other places, and I don't have family. So, and I've tried to do the Misfits holidays, and I tried to invite people. And then for a while, we were doing the community meals for shut-ins and stuff for people who couldn't leave the house or didn't have family. But like I said, I don't have the time or the energy or the resources to do that anymore. It was something that I enjoyed doing when I had help and the money, and I did get donations as well, but like I had people who came and helped cook, and I had people who came and helped and delivered meals. But I don't do that anymore. So this holiday we didn't do anything. Holidays make me depressed. Because it makes me realize how much I'm alone. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh, feel sorry for me. It's just a fact. This is what it is, and I know other people are excited about holidays, and I definitely don't want to steal their joy for that. Hey, if you got family and you know, awesome. I mean, I can completely get why people celebrate holidays. It's nice if you have family that you're close with and you love and that love you and whatnot. You know, like for Easter for me, my estranged sister texted me and no, okay, she's dead to me because of her action and her choices. But she texted me and she wanted to borrow money for her addictions, and I just didn't answer. So, because I know it's better not to engage sometimes. So that is what it is, and that did kind of bring me into a little bit of a dark place as well. Um, she was trying to lie to me and say that it was for other things, like to visit my nephew and this and that, which I know is a lie. But it is what it is. She doesn't live here. She lives a couple thousand miles away from me. But yeah. And I called my mom and I wished her happy Easter. And that's pretty much it. That's the majority of my family. And I could go into the reason why I don't really have family, and I have before and years ago. Maybe I need to rehash it. But if anybody's like, oh, it's your fault, they're insane. Holding people accountable for their actions should not make your family disown you, or, well, actually more like I disown them, but still, it should not make them hold a grudge against you, but of course, they do. Anyways, but I'm not trying to be like sad. I'm just trying to state facts. The thing is, like, most of the time when I say things like that, when I talk like this, I'm not like, oh, woe is me. I'm not trying to throw myself a pity party. Like, I'm just trying to be like, okay, this is that. Like, the level of my emotions towards things in my life are kind of like, okay, well, that happened. I don't know. I only get sad over certain things, to be honest, like animals. And movies where animals die. So, it is what it is. And yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm always gonna be okay. I promise. Till the day that I'm not okay anymore. Because I'm dead. No, but that's probably gonna happen naturally. Don't worry. I mean, I'm already 45 years old. I've made it this far, and I haven't done anything to myself, and besides passively aggressively, trying to hurt myself, but I'm trying to better that now after years and years and years of the damage I've done. So, but if I've made it through that, I can make it through this. This is like a cakewalk compared to my life before, like my childhood, my 20s, my 30s. My 40s have been pretty amazing, actually, to be honest. They're finally rolling out. I don't want to like jinx things, knock on wood. Can't do that too loud. Wake up a dog. But my 40s actually haven't been that bad. It's been good since I've learned how to talk and communicate and ask for what I need, and I've been learning to take time for myself in ways that work for me. It may not be ways that people think I should be doing it, but it's ways that work for me. So I sit in my room and I listen to audiobooks and play games and make gift cards for like 3 days. Hey, if it's what I have to do to defrag, that's what I have to do. If I have to turn off all social media and just live in my own world for a while, it's what I have to do. And yeah, I do feel a little bit guilty, but I'm learning to get over that as well. If you're ex-people pleaser, you know what I mean. So I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to stop talking. I think I figured out where the camera is the right way now. I'll figure it out. I'm still working on this. I'll figure it out at some point. So, till next time, stay humble, stay kind. Look out for the